Although the demise of Riley Strain was officially deemed an accident, lingering doubts persist among his loved ones regarding the events leading to the 22-year-old's untimely death after his ejection from a Nashville establishment. Here is a detailed look at every development in this perplexing case. What transpired with Riley Strain? Riley, a student at the University of Missouri, was last observed in downtown Nashville on the evening of March 8, enjoying a night out bar hopping with fraternity friends, as reported by the police. As the search for Riley entered its second week, his family clung to hope, preparing for both the best and worst outcomes. "As far as we're concerned, he's coming home, and we'll be celebrating his graduation in May," stated Riley's stepfather, Chris Whitehead, to NBC News on March 16. "We continue with life as usual." However, the mystery deepened when, 2 weeks post-disappearance, Riley's body was discovered in the Cumberland River on the western edge of the city, far from his last known location. The disappearance attracted widespread attention, especially since he vanished after being ousted from a bar owned by country music star Luke Bryan, fueling rampant online speculation. Questions arose about his state that night. Was he intoxicated? Was there an altercation? Who was the last to see him? Despite the Nashville Metropolitan Police Department confirming that no signs of foul play were evident on his body, the unexpected nature of his death surprised many who followed the case closely. The autopsy conducted on March 23 revealed no signs of violent trauma, with a police spokesperson informing E! News that the findings still pointed to an accidental death. Yet, the classification of his death as accidental provides no clarity on how Riley ended up in the river, prompting his family to seek further answers through a second independent autopsy. On March 29, it was reported by E! News that the investigation remains active and ongoing as authorities await the results from the additional autopsy. Riley Strain, a 22-year-old student majoring in business and financial planning at the University of Missouri, journeyed to Nashville with his Delta Chi fraternity brothers on March 8. The group arrived by bus and checked into the Tempo Hotel on Rosa L. Parks Boulevard, conveniently located near the bustling nightlife on Broadway. Chris Whitehead, Riley's stepfather, recounted to an NBC affiliate WSMV4 that the evening began at Miranda Lambert's Casa Rosa bar. The group lingered there for about an hour and 15 minutes before moving on to the Garth Brooks-owned Friends in Low Places bar and Honky Tonk. It was there, around 7:30 p.m., that Riley video-called his mother, Michelle Whitehead. Michelle recalled telling her son, "Have fun, be careful, I love you," to which Riley responded with, "I love you," marking the last communication she would have with him. Chris noted that Riley appeared sober during the call, a sentiment supported by their continued text exchanges for the next hour. Bank records later revealed that Riley's night continued at Kid Rock's bar and culminated at Luke Bryan's 32 Bridge Food Plus drink, making it his final stop of the night. He left Garth's, spent an hour at Kid Rock's, and then arrived at Luke Bryan's at 9:15 p.m., Chris detailed in a NewsNation interview on April 16. Riley was at Luke Bryan's bar from 9:15 to 9:36 p.m., a brief 21-minute stay. Riley's time at Luke Bryan's bar ended abruptly when he was escorted out at 9:35 p.m. The Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission started investigating on March 14, looking into whether Riley was visibly intoxicated and possibly overserved. The bar, cooperating with the police and TABC, asserted that Riley had purchased just one drink and 2 waters, in line with their conduct standards. A member of Riley's group initially accompanied him to the door before returning upstairs, as stated in the bar's announcement. Luke Bryan expressed his concern over the incident, sharing on his Instagram story, "Y'all, this is scary. Praying for his safe return." On April 1, the Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission, TABC, informed E! News that it was examining several venues to ascertain if any alcohol law violations occurred on the night Riley Strain was served drinks, March 8. The establishments in question have all cooperated with the investigation, stated the TABC. "We will release the final report once the investigation concludes." During an interview with NewsNation on April 16, Riley's mother reminisced about a peculiar text message Riley sent her on the night he vanished, mentioning that his rum and coke tasted oddly like barbecue, prompting her to speculate, maybe there was something in it that shouldn't have been. According to Chris Whitehead, Riley's stepdad, this wasn't Riley's first visit to Nashville. However, on that fateful night, he became separated from his friends. Chris recounted to WSMV on March 11, "The boys reached out to him, and he said he was walking back to the hotel. They thought nothing of it at the time." Security footage later captured Riley on 3rd Avenue North, diverging from his path across a parking lot and heading in a new direction. Another camera caught him crossing 1st Avenue North on Gay Street at 9:47 p.m. at the corner. Riley paused and staggered slightly, looking back the way he had come, before continuing on his way. These moments, shared on social media by the police, underscored gaps in understanding his movements that night. "We need to understand what happened before he was in the parking lot and what occurred after he crossed onto Gay Street," Chris expressed, pointing to the missing pieces of the night's events. Riley's father, Ryan Gilbert, told WSMV that the last known location of Riley was near the James Robertson Parkway Bridge, marking the point where things went dark. The last signal from Riley's phone was pinged near this bridge, crossing the Cumberland River. A potential breakthrough occurred on April 10 when a new witness came forward with information, as described by family friend Chris Dingman, calling it a significant development. However, this testimony was later withdrawn, as confirmed by Nashville police to E! News on April 12. Chris detailed further actions to WSMV, noting that when Riley's friends returned to the hotel around 3:15 a.m. and noticed his absence, they attempted to locate him using Snapchat's location feature. Their search was unsuccessful, and Riley was not found in any of the rooms occupied by about 30 fraternity members. Prompted by his absence, Chris and Michelle, Riley's mother, drove urgently from Springfield, Missouri, to Nashville. In a later revelation, another hotel guest reported hearing loud noises that night, suggesting the students were freaking out about something, adding another layer of mystery to the unresolved case. In a revealing interview with NewsNation on April 16, Ryan Gilbert, Riley's father, noted an unrelated incident where another fraternity member injured his hand, clarifying it had no connection to Riley's disappearance. During this discussion, Riley's family also highlighted the disturbing delay of 14 hours before the fraternity reported him missing to the authorities. Investigation commences. The investigation into Riley Strain's disappearance kicked off on March 9 when police were alerted to a missing person report at the Tempo Hotel. According to a 911 call recording accessed by WKRN, a close friend of Riley informed the dispatcher that Riley's last known location was near the river around 11 p.m. Chris Whitehead, Riley's stepdad, expressed satisfaction with the Nashville Metropolitan Police Department's response upon their arrival in Nashville that Saturday evening. He praised the officer for his proactive efforts in making calls and coordinating searches, which were promptly recorded in the national database. Chris felt the police handled the initial stages of the investigation commendably. CNN reviewed a police report indicating that the last signal from Riley's phone was detected 0.64 miles southwest from a cell tower at 19 Oldham Street, close to the river, yet a thorough search yielded no results. Riley's family, particularly Michelle, voiced frustration about the lack of urgency from Riley's friends in contacting the police after discovering he was not among them when they returned to the hotel at 3:15 a.m. The friends reportedly resumed their festivities, further distressing Chris and Michelle as they searched area hospitals for any sign of Riley. First clues emerge. On March 17, a significant clue surfaced when two volunteers found Riley's bank card along the embankment between Gay Street and the Cumberland River. The following day, police released video footage showing Riley's last recorded interaction on the night of March 8. In the video, captured by a body cam worn by an officer responding to a nearby vehicle burglary on Gay Street, Riley briefly conversed with the officer, reassuring him that he was fine before continuing on his way. Police spokesman Don Aaron addressed speculations about Riley's condition at the time, stating that the footage showed Riley alone and not under obvious distress, countering theories that he might have been pursued or in danger. Search efforts intensify. Chris publicly acknowledged the support from the United Cajun Navy during a press conference on March 19, expressing deep gratitude for the community and media support. The family remained hopeful about Riley's return, bolstered by the expertise and dedication of the volunteer responders. Further efforts included a coordinated search on March 20 by the Cheatham County Sheriff's Office at the Cheatham Lock and Dam, leading to the examination of debris from the Cumberland River. Ryan Gilbert participated directly in these efforts, joining the United Cajun Navy on the river in a poignant attempt to find his son himself. Tragic discovery. The extensive search culminated tragically when Riley's body was discovered in the Cumberland River. This discovery brought a sorrowful closure to the intense search and left the family and community mourning the loss of a young life filled with potential, while still seeking answers to the many unresolved questions surrounding his untimely death. On the morning of March 22, at precisely 7:28 a.m., a disturbing discovery was reported to the police by a local worker who spotted a body in the Cumberland River in western Nashville. Metropolitan Nashville Police Chief John Drake later confirmed at a press conference that the deceased was indeed Riley Strain, identified by the Davidson County Medical Examiner's Office. The presence of his black and white shirt and other personal items, including a watch, helped in the identification process. Chief Drake expressed his deep condolences to Riley's family, acknowledging the communal efforts to locate him. "My heart and prayers go out to you all for this very unfortunate and tragic incident," he said. He also noted the community's substantial support throughout the search. According to the chief, the day marked 2 weeks since Riley's disappearance, a timeline that matched the investigators' predictions of when and where Riley might be found, based on his physical characteristics. The police chief stated that no evidence suggested any scenario other than Riley accidentally falling into the river. That afternoon, in a poignant gesture of remembrance, Riley's family, wearing his favorite color green, appeared at the police headquarters. Michelle, Riley's mother, in a heartfelt plea, urged all parents to cherish their children. "I just ask that you mamas out there, hug your babies tight tonight, please. Please, for me, just hug your babies tight tonight. And again, thank you. Thank you for sharing our story," she told reporters. Dual autopsies conducted. An initial autopsy was performed on March 23, which a detective attended. The findings continued to suggest an accidental death with no trauma indicative of foul play, although toxicology results were still pending. Subsequently, Riley's family arranged for a second, independent autopsy, seeking further clarity on his mysterious death. Chris Dingman, a family friend, mentioned to News Nation that this autopsy delved deeper, examining specific elements more closely. Intriguingly, it was reported that Riley's jeans, boots, and wallet were not found with his body, and notably, there was an absence of water in his lungs, which puzzled the family and fueled further questions. Mourning and memorial. On March 29, the family gathered for a visitation and celebration of Riley's life at Green Lawn Funeral Home in Springfield, Missouri, where attendees were encouraged to wear green in tribute to Riley's vibrant spirit. His obituary highlighted his dynamic and affectionate personality. As weeks passed since the recovery of Riley's body, his family remained committed to uncovering the details of his death, frustrated by the lack of information from his friends regarding the events of March 8. The absence of forthcoming details from those who were with him last troubled the family deeply. "I don't understand why they wouldn't have reached out to us, wanting to provide information from that night. Maybe I'm crazy, but why should we have to reach out to them and beg them for information on a missing brother?" Michelle lamented. Determined to find closure, Michelle voiced her persistent grief and resolve. "There's a hole in my heart," she said. "There always will be. And we may never know what happened that night, and that makes it even worse for me. But yeah, I would like to know everything that happened that day." The family vowed to continue their advocacy for answers in the ongoing investigation.